Hey class, Mrs. Lowe here. This video is number 4 and it's actually section 3.5 in our textbook, Graphing a Linear Relation Using a Table of Values. Now in class we did a couple where you had to pick the values of x or y and get your corresponding point. Or I gave you values of x and you would have to substitute them in and get y. Either way, you want to be able to substitute in and get your coordinates so that you can graph your points. So you always want to have at least 3 points. 2 will form a line, but 3 will guarantee that it is the correct line. You want to pick values that are low and easy to substitute in. So I'm going to start with just -2. And when you substitute into an equation, you should always put your number in parentheses so you don't get confused by the negatives and the positives, especially when you're squaring numbers. Mistakes are made when they're not substituted into parentheses. So this becomes 4 plus 4, which is 8. So we can graph our point, -2, 8. There's our first point. Pick another point. I'm going to go with 0. 0 is always a good number to pick for x. Not only is it easy to substitute in and simplify and solve for your y, it also is the y-intercept. So 0, 4 is the y-intercept, the point at which our line will intersect with the y-axis. And at least one more will give us, make sure our line is correct. I'm going to go with 1. Y equals 4 minus 2 times 1. So this is 4 minus 2, which is 2. 1, 2. So you can see our line is being formed. Now you don't have to substitute values in for just x. You can pick any value you want for y and substitute in. So let's say I pick 0, and I'm going to do 0 equals 4 minus 2x. I can solve for x. This would be -4 equals -2x, divide by -2, x would equal 2. So I have 4 points that work. And in fact, this point, which I just plotted, is called the x-intercept. Now we'll graph our line. When you graph your line, be sure to extend it across the entire grid. Put arrows on the end because lines go on forever. You should be using a straight edge, though I have not. So a follow-up question to this type of problem might be, what is the slope of this line? And we can find the slope simply by counting the rise over the run. The rise is 1, 2, and the run is 1. And we know in general that the line goes down to the right, so it's a negative. So the slope of our line is -2. In the previous video, I talked about the formula where it's the difference in the y's over the difference in the x. So you can pick any 2 points you want and calculate the slope using the formula. Change in y, 8 minus 4, over the change in x, -2 minus 0. And indeed you get the exact same slope that we found by counting, -2 over 1 or -2. Okay, hope that helps. You guys need to make sure you can plot points, you can draw lines, and you can create a table of values given a linear equation. Good luck.